Unite 2018 kicked off last week, and man am I excited about some of the new features. In this video, we'll take a look at the biggest and most awesome changes that will be happening in Unity in the near future. With that said, let's jump right into it. And let's start small. At least that's what Unity did when they showed their improvements when it comes to deploying on really lightweight platforms, such as messaging apps. This might not sound like a big achievement, but deploying on a platform like this requires an extremely light build size. And with the help of ECS, it looks like Unity has managed to compress the runtime to only 72 kilobytes, which is just crazy small. So I guess at least when it comes to gaming platforms. Moving on, the Book of the Dead demo project is out and available for download. I'm personally super excited to start playing around with it. During the keynote, Unity also announced a new project they're working on called Mars, the Mixed and Augmented Reality Studio. Mars is a Unity extension that, as the name suggests, allows you to create AR applications in Unity. An example of this could be using real-life objects as part of your game level. They also did a live demo showing off the tools, but as it sometimes happens with live demos, it didn't really go according to plan.
Okay, this has worked like every freaking time.
On second try, however, they did get it working, but I do think that issues like these speak to the fact that the general state of AR is still very early. With that said, I must admit that I was quite impressed with the facial tracking. Even with the live demo running in real time on stage, the tracking seemed to hold up very well. Next up, Unity also gave some new information on nested prefabs. Apparently nested prefab is only part of a whole new prefab workflow. This includes prefab mode, prefab variants, and of course nested prefabs. You can definitely expect to see some content on this soon. Now,
what if you could create your game without worrying about setting up complicated animation rules, creating transitions manually, or creating nested state machines?
In answering this question, Unity is bringing machine learning into the world of animation with Kinematic, a new experimental package coming to Unity later this year. This system is able to figure out which animations to play based on player input and the player's position in the environment. Kinematic combines fragments of the different animations you feed it to create seamless and dynamic motion in real time. They showed it off using some mocap data, and I was actually really impressed with how smoothly it ran. This is something that I definitely was not expecting, but it's really interesting. And now something Unity has never done before. Change their editor design. The changes aren't huge, but it definitely has a more modern flat UI. Also, most of the icons are being changed. It won't interfere with your workflow, but it's definitely noticeable, especially if you've been playing around in Unity for as long as I have. And is it just me, or did the free editor skin get even brighter? Finally, Unity teased the new node-based video effects editor a bit more. Still not much concrete information about the feature, I'm just waiting impatiently to get my hands on it. They did however mention that GPU particles will be part of it, so that is definitely cool. Also, following tradition, Unite contained a roadmap talk of the features that are coming to Unity in the somewhat near future. Let me see how many of my favorites I can mention in under 40 seconds. Alright, here we go. New Unified Settings window and Unified User Preferences window, template games for networking starting with the FPS archetype, shader graph support for HDRP starting in 2018.2, and in point 3 we will have node grouping as well. Round-tripping workflow with FBX export makes integration with Maya, Maya LT and 3ds Max much more convenient. Core terrain updates in 2018.3 include custom brushes, better performance, more scriptability and more. For 2D we get the brand new 2D sprite shape tool in 2018.2, and point 3 will bring multi-sprite support to character animation. Finally, hexagonal tiles is going to be a thing in 2018.2, and in 2018.3 so is isometric tiles. And to be honest, this is just a snippet of all the cool stuff that were mentioned in the roadmap. So to sum up, loads of awesome improvements coming soon. I'm a bit disappointed that many of these features aren't live as a preview just yet, but again I guess we'll just have to be patient. We'll of course try to cover each of these features as they are released. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks to all of the awesome Patreon supporters who donated in June, and a special thanks to Michael Neely, Clinton Vanskira, Art Amin, Kuskai, Cheetah3D, Alexander Blair, Tommy Huang, Infinity PBR, Hansoftune, Technofab, Jeff Paulson, Cyborg Mummy, Leo Lisette, Frank Long, G. Snyder, Dennis Sullivan, John Beauregard, Superman the Great, Thomas Worley, Derek Heemskirk, Basil Marify, Corey Jackson, Kirill Swiderski, Obrisi, James P., Timothy Holderbach, Larry Tweed, Naoki Iwasaki, Adrian Haslinger, Bruins Cat, Gregory Pierce, Svetlin Svilanov, Erasmus, Rob Farron, James Rogers, Man analysts Omar Chaim, Robert Bund and Peter Locke. You guys rock!